Welcome back. Hi, my name is Micheala, and this is my YouTube channel. And it's a project I've been working on. I'm trying to post one video a week on Mondays, and for now, that's what I'm doing. But it might change, and I'm grateful you're here. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the offerings that I've been offering to the world for many years now, because I've had a few people recently ask me about it, and I feel like it's just evolved over time. So this is sort of like, I don't want this to sound like an advertisement necessarily, but if anything, it's an encouragement to follow your passions and giving you some of like what I like to do in my own work with passion projects. So yeah, today I wanted to talk about passion projects. And one of the offerings I do is passion project coaching. And what that looks like is basically, if someone wants to start a YouTube channel or write a memoir or travel the world, or they have like a bucket list item, it could be really anything. It could be something new they want to learn. I think often passion projects are seen as things that are like not necessarily for money, but also they can sometimes be starting a business. Like I've helped people start Etsy businesses. So I think it doesn't necessarily have to be a business or not, but it's often something that really lights you up. So if you're finding that in your life, you're feeling really like low energy or low inspiration, low like life force energy, I think you can add something to your life that gives you energy because you're passionate about it. And that's something that's really worked for me and spoken to me in the past. I think when I have ever felt really like burnt out on some specific work or some specific topic that I've been spending a lot of time doing, having an additional thing that's just something I'm passionate about. So for example, last year I had some extra time to work on a cookbook. And this has always been like a big dream of mine, is to write my own cookbook. And I got really specific with it. It's a vegan, gluten-free dessert cookbook. That's like everything. So it all started with me like going to lots of potlucks and getting better and better at crafting like amazing desserts that were vegan and gluten-free, because I have so many friends and myself included in the past who have had like different food allergies, like gluten, dairy, egg, whatever. So making vegan, gluten-free desserts, I mean, it's the best. So I started with that idea. I was making these desserts anyway, so I would make them a little more epic, and then I would bring them to the potlucks. But before I would bring them, I would do like a little photo shoot with each of these desserts. And I hadn't even really started the cookbook, but it was like in the back of my mind. And sooner or later, I accumulated like a bunch of recipes. And these are all recipes that I've been working on for years. So some of them I've like been inspired by other people's recipes. Some of them I've made up myself, just trying to simplify. And I a lot of times use the same ingredients. So it's like pretty minimal ingredients, which is nice. But yeah, at some point I just decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to make this into a cookbook. So I taught myself how to use Canva, and I taught myself how to self-publish. I tried a couple different publishing routes, but I ended up going with the Amazon KDP publishing, which if you want, let me know and I'll make a video on that sometime, because now I'm really excited about publishing things on there. It had a kind of a steep learning curve, but I figured it out. Before all this, let me step back. And I remember the moment I just felt like I needed something to put my energy into that would give me energy back, like something creative, something that wasn't just like going to bog me down or be like really emotionally heavy. A lot of the work that I've done over the years has been like, in education or coaching, and now moving into therapy. It's a lot of emotional labor, and I love that work, but sometimes it feels so good to just like work with my hands, for example. So this is like part of why I started my herbal business, and why I love foraging, and why I love baking, and why I love cooking. So I wanted to take something in that realm and really push myself to make something out of it. And that's when I decided to make this my passion project. Now, by the time I came up with this idea to do a cookbook as a passion project, I had already been doing passion project coaching for actually many years. And just to back up even further, at the school that I worked at for the last 13 years, we had a really cool thing every year called interest projects, where the school was K through 12, and every single kid in the school would pick something kind of earlier on in the year, and we called it interest projects. So it's kind of similar to passion projects, where they would pick something that they're interested in or passionate about. And it could be an academic thing, like maybe they want to learn about World War II. But most of the time it was like totally random. Like the younger kids would learn about an animal or like a weather phenomenon or something. And the older the kids, the more like nuanced and interesting their topics would get. So what they would do is they would have this topic and we would kind of guide them through all these different steps of how to turn this passion, this interest into kind of like something that is a finished product or a presentable thing. And that process is really a beautiful process of kind of sharing your gifts with the world. So like I said, after helping countless kids of all ages move through this process in their own kind of developmental way, I started offering this to adults. And again, some of my clients were working on memoirs or YouTube channels or businesses, whatever it is. It was the same process of coming up with the idea, kind of spelling out the timeline of it, creating accountability, commitments. And then I think a really important part that a lot of people miss is bringing in that like spiritual, ritualistic aspect of it. So that's something I want to talk about, which is people ask me all the time of like how it's different. And I feel like something that really means a lot to me, especially over the last couple of years, is bringing in some kind of ritual. And I've talked about this a little bit with doing like new and full moon rituals. But when I think about the birthing or the like planting of the seed of this passion project, I think it's really cool to do some kind of ritual. So what that might look like is building an altar that has different aspects on it that remind you of your passion project. I always tend to light a candle and I always try to have the 4 elements involved. These are sort of the basics. I keep forgetting that I do really want to make a video for y'all about just my basic strategy or what I do when I do a ritual. So maybe I'll try to do that for the next new or full moon. So that you guys can try it on your own. But yeah, doing it with the passion projects is really a cool idea because you can basically, you can journal, you can kind of vision. I like to do with my clients, I like to do these guided visualizations. And I think in general, just being able to visualize the finished product. So for me, I'll come back to the example because it's really tangible. When I decided that I'm going to make this cookbook, I had kind of already started making desserts. I had kind of already started taking photos. I mostly was using the photos for social media and I didn't really intend to use them for anything, but I had already sort of accumulated some of the work. But it was really important that I sat down and really committed to the full project, because if I didn't do that, I would have probably stopped midway, because there were parts where I would just get so stuck in the weeds and it was way too hard. But because I had already done this ceremony and like really called this project in, I pushed through those points. So what I would do is visualize the finished product. So I would visualize myself with my eyes closed, holding my book and how it would feel and how proud of myself I would feel, and thinking about people using the book and telling me that they like the recipes or whatever, like trying to just envision what's the best case scenario if you finish this project. I feel like I should show you my book now because I've been talking about it a lot, but really I'm just trying to use it as an example. Okay, here it is. Sweetness! It's kind of hard to show you on here, but look at all the desserts. So this feeling of being able to hold it in my hand, I got to really do it. So there's something really magical about that. Like, I think it did something deeply inside of me that healed this part of myself that thought I was lazy or that would never finish projects, because that does happen a lot. I have a lot of like unfinished projects, but finishing a project was very healing for me. Again, now since then, and I'm now looking back, there has been lots of projects that I have finished. There's just been a lot more that I haven't that you probably will never see because they're not finished. But you've seen, the cookbook. I've done the Etsy store. I've also done my Women Who Run with the Wolves series. Even this YouTube channel is sort of my new passion project. So I think you can see where I'm going with this and how important it is to bring in ritual and intention and kind of plan out your steps. I think of like, if we were to go back to the Women Who Run with the Wolves books, she talks a lot about the masculine energy of the animus and how the animus is what takes your dreams into reality. And I feel like for me, I have a really healthy creative aspect that is like constantly thinking of ideas of things I want to do. And if that's something you struggle with, then thinking about that feminine aspect or that creative aspect and calling that in more is really important. Well, for me, I actually struggle more with the animus aspect, which maybe would be considered the masculine aspect. And so for me, it was about calling in this masculine, grounded, aspect, that I needed to take this dream of a cookbook or whatever it is and figure out how to structure it in a way, like taking little baby steps, putting them on the calendar, setting myself reminders, and doing this on my own was kind of hard. So this is why I guess coming back full circle, because this video is getting kind of long, this is sort of my vision, or what the work that I like to do as a passion project coach. So you can check out my website if you want more information. I haven't really been like advertising much, and I don't have a lot of space for more clients right now, but I could probably take a couple more clients because I've been sort of like taking a little break from a lot of my side hustles because I'm in school. But I think after, this quarter has been pretty rocky, but I feel like I'm finally feeling like more balanced. So if you're interested in working with me and having accountability and help with the kind of ritualistic aspects of how to start and finish and share your passion project, please reach out to me. And yeah, you can go to my website. I think it might be down in the description, but it's my name, michealarands.com. Try to spell my name right. My name's spelled wrong, so good luck with that. michealaranz.com. That's my website. So go check it out. There's a lot of things on there. It's probably going to be shifting. Honestly, this whole thing might be shifting once I get into my internship and then become a licensed therapist. So a lot of my work is going to be shifting. So if you want to get in on this passion project goodness, it's probably a limited time offer. Either way, I don't really want this to be about working with me or anything like that. To be perfectly honest, I just want you to do your passion project. So if you need my support, let me know. If you want someone else's support, call in your friends. I feel like lots of times you can just get friends that also have a passion project and you can hold each other accountable. So mostly this is just my ploy for trying to get you to do what you're meant to do on this earth. And if it gives you a little tickle or a little inspiration, if you feel a little passion and fire, if you find yourself researching it late at night, if you feel excited about it, like look at the library books that you check out and look at the pages that you follow on social media, like you can get a sense of what it is that you're passionate about. And it might just seem like a side thing. It might not make any money. I think that's a hard thing for me. I always like, why waste my time on this project that isn't going to be like a career or isn't going to benefit me in some way? But I urge you to think about it a little differently and think about it as life force energy, knowing that some things, and there's no rhyme or reason to why, but some things will just give you energy and inspire you and make you feel nourished. A lot of times those things are creative things, and unfortunately our world doesn't value creative things as much as it should. But being filled with the energy of creativity is a really nourishing, spiritually nourishing experience. So I definitely highly encourage you to follow your passions and to finish that project. And I hope this is the little push that you needed. Thanks for listening. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share, do all the things, and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you. Mwah.